In this video, we're going to look at the reciprocal trig functions. Now we have three of these. We've got sec, secant, cosecant, cotangent, which are abbreviated to sec, cosec, and cot. Now how you get sec is 1 divided by cos, so that's why it's called the reciprocal trig functions. How you get cosec is 1 divided by sine, and how you get cot is 1 divided by tan. So you might think, that's going to be very hard to remember. But if you just think, a very simple way to remember these is as follows. Look at the third letter of each of them. So in sec, the third letter is C, and it's 1 divided by cos, and cos begins with C. In cosec, the third letter is S, and it's 1 divided by sine, and sine begins with S. And cot, the third letter is T, and that's 1 divided by tan, and the first letter of tan is T. Okay, another thing to note here, sec is 1 over tan. Tan, remember, was tan theta is sine theta divided by cos. That's why cot theta is a reciprocal of tan, so it is equal to, flip that upside down to give you cos over sine. Okay, we're going to look at a couple of examples here on this and see what we can do. Okay, first example says for us to find cosec of 120 degrees. Now on your calculator there is no cosec function, so to find cosec, first thing we're going to do for A is we're going to rewrite it as 1 over sine. Cosec, remember, is 1 over sine, so it's 1 over sine of 120. Now if you do that on your calculator, sine of 120 is root 3 over 2. So then 1 over root 3 over 2, just reciprocal that bottom line, you're going to get 2 over root 3. Okay, if you do 2 divided by root 3 on your calculator, what's going to give you is 2 root 3 over 3. Part B, it was sec of 225, so sec of 225 is the same as 1 over cos of 225, and cos of 225, if I do that in my calculator, I'll get minus root 2 over 2, and so if you reciprocal that, you're going to get minus 2 over root 2, and again, if you do that in your calculator, hit in minus 2 over root 2, what you're going to get is minus root 2. Next example says, if cos theta is equal to 4 over 5 and theta is acute, find sec theta and cosec. So it's a bit of a strange example here. This one, what you want to do here is do a wee right angle triangle, and you're going to mark in your theta, and it's cos theta is equal to 4 over 5. Cos, remember, from your basic SOHCAHTOA is just adjacent over hypotenuse. So if this is my theta, then this side is my adjacent, it's 4, and my hypotenuse is 5. Now you should know this is the most basic right angle triangle, so you should know that this is a 3, 4, 5 triangle. If you don't, you would have to work out this 3 that I've just worked out using Pythagoras. And there will be cases when this will happen. You're now ready to go. So what I'm going to just write down all the information I have from this triangle. What I already know was cos theta was equal to 4 over 5. Sine theta then is equal to 3 over 5. And tan theta is going to be, because that sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, tan is equal to opposite over adjacent. So 3 over 4. And then you're good to go and answer the question. So sec theta, first of all, is going to be equal to, sec theta is 1 over cos theta, so I could have really done this one right at the start of this question, so it's going to be 5 over 4, so reciprocal my cos theta just, and part B is my cosec theta, and cosec, remember, is 1 over sine theta, so in this case that's going to be 1 over 3 over 5, so reciprocal that, you're going to get 5 over 3, and that's it done. Okay, this is a slightly different example. It says, first of all, if cos theta is equal to minus 7 over 25 and theta is reflex, find sec theta and then cot theta. So for part A, we don't actually have to do anything too difficult here. For sec theta, sec, remember, is just the reciprocal of the cos, so 1 over cos theta. So in that case, it's 1 divided by minus 7 over 25, which is just going to be minus 25 over 7. And I didn't do this in the last example, but you can write these as mixed numbers in. That's going to be minus 3 and 4 over 7. For part B, I'm going to look at this thing. My original thing said cos theta is equal to minus 7 over 25. I'm going to draw that out as a right angle triangle and put my theta here. And I'm going to ignore the fact that it was minus 7 over 25 for the time being. Cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's 7 and 25. By Pythagoras theorem, you may know these ones, these Pythagorean triples. If you don't, by Pythagoras theorem, you need to work out that this one side that I've just drawn is 24. And then we'll write down, we'll also do a cast diagram. So my cast diagram is here. Now it says a wee bit of information in this question. It says cos theta is minus 7 over 25 and theta is reflex. What reflex means, remember? Reflex means greater than 180 degrees. So it could have been, my angle could have been in this quadrant or in this quadrant. So you've got a little bit of thinking to do here and to decide which quadrant it is. So cos theta is negative. Now, if it had been in this quadrant, so between 270 and 360, then it would not be negative. So this is not an option for us. So it has to be in here. My angle has to be in here. So I'm going to label my angle in here. Okay, so that's where it has to be. So then we can go on and do the rest of this question. So we're just going to write down the three basic trig functions, our sine, our cos, and our tan. So we'll say, we don't even need the sine one, sorry, we'll just need we'll write down our cos one. So cos theta is equal to minus 7 over 25, and we'll do our tan one. Tan theta is equal to, and look here, tan is going to be positive, so it's going to be 24 over 7, and we'll say, we'll just make a wee note, this is for our notes, we'll just say it is positive because it is in the t quadrant. Positive as our angle is in the t quadrant. I've said the t quadrant. A lot of people call that first, second, third quadrant really for that one, but it's absolutely fine. And that's it. Okay, right, so we've got our tan theta. What we actually have to do in this one is find our cot theta. So cot is 1 over tan. So in this case, 1 over tan is going to be 1 divided by 24 over 7, which is just going to be 7 over 24. Okay, folks, you are now able to do topic 5, the Trig A exercises, and it's exercise 2 questions. So sorry, I'll just write that in. Topic 5, Trig A, and then it's exercise 2, questions 1 to 6.